Hello Internet, it's me Josh, the Aging Gamer. So, today I'm continuing my review on classic console Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, and today I'm looking at quite possibly the most popular TMNT game of them all. I'm talking about Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time was originally an arcade game released back in 1991. It actually released before the last Turtles game we talked about, the Manhattan Project. Turtles in Time was a 4-player arcade cabinet that was a fan favorite. Then in 1992, the game got ported to the Super Nintendo. It added in new levels, bosses, and a bunch of other features. Since this was the version that had all the bonus content, as well as being the version I believe most people played, this is the one I want to review. I think it's worth pointing out as well that in 2009, Ubisoft developed a Turtles in Time remake titled Turtles in Time Reshelled. I personally found it to be a bit lackluster of a remake, as it didn't feature any of the SNES editions, and overall really didn't add anything to the Turtles in Time experience at all, other than a 3D coat of paint. And after playing the last two Turtle games, you might be thinking, well, what could possibly be so different in yet another Ninja Turtle beat-em-up? Quite a bit, actually. Like I mentioned already, this is one of, if not the most popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game of all time. So, let's get to it and find out why. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles IV, Turtles in Time. So let's go ahead and start up the game. Ooh, I still love hearing that chime. When we start the game, we get a pretty awesome seizure-inducing intro. Then we get straight to the title screen where we got a few options. 1-player mode and 2-player mode are the regular story mode. Versus mode lets you fight against another player in a 2 out of 3 falls. And time trials that lets you beat up Foot Clan baddies in a timely fashion. And there's, of course, options that'll let you pick your difficulty, there's a sound test, and a cool color mode. You can pick between animation, which shows the typical Green Ninja Turtles, or you can pick comic, which gives the turtles the colors of, not the comics, not the movies either, nor the cartoon. This actually seems to resemble more of the first toy line that they did, and honestly, being a kid who grew up with those very toys, I love this option, so I'm picking this. It's such an unnecessary feature, but I think it's awesome. So when we start the main game, you get to select your turtle, and unlike the last few games, there are major differences between all the turtles. And according to the game manual, the turtles all get different stats and everything. To give you the gist of it, Leonardo is the well-rounded turtle, with even stats across the board. Michelangelo has the highest attack and defense, but unfortunately is a bit slow. Donatello is pretty average, with his strong suit being his long weapon reach, but his downside is that he's the slowest turtle of the 4. And lastly, Raphael, who moves super fast and attacks really quick, but unfortunately has the lowest attack and defense power. And what's interesting about this game is that I don't think any turtle is better than any other. They all play so differently, but I feel like each turtle's weakness is totally made up for with their strengths. I found myself having a pretty good time using each turtle, so I can't really say that I have a favorite. In the end, I think I found myself using Raph more, but yeah, I don't think there's a bad turtle in the group. Anyway, once you select your character, we get to our story. April O'Neil is reporting the news when all of a sudden, Krang comes down and steals a Statue of Liberty. Shredder laughs on national television while the turtles look on in anger. I like how Leo is just sitting here in his chair, yelling at his TV like an angry old man. Nah. Anyway, let's get moving.
Big Apple, 3 a.m.
So we're in a construction zone of some sorts, and we got some Foot Clan soldiers to beat up. This is just the first stage, so don't expect anything too hard. And I think now is a good time to point out some gameplay differences here compared to its predecessors. Of course, you can do your standard attacks, jump attacks, and dive kicks. You can also brutally slam enemies around like ragdolls. You can now dash in this game, so there's dash attacks as well. And yes, this is also the game that introduces the ability to launch Foot Clan ninjas toward the screen. I love it! We also get the return of each turtle getting their own special move. You know, the ones that do a lot of damage, but also hurts you to perform them. And just an FYI, unlike Turtles 3 where you can just spam specials as long as you don't get hit, in this game, if you don't have enough health, you can't use a special, so use your specials sparingly. So yeah, the gameplay gets a bit of a shakeup. Also, the point system from Turtles 2 the arcade game returns, where you earn a point for every bad guy you kill, and after every 200 points, you get an extra life. Back to action. We're fighting some ninjas and trying our best to avoid getting squished by, giant balls! We get a cool part here where we see Krang peeking over and trying to shoot at us with lasers. Once we reach the end of the level, we fight Baxter Stockman. He zips around the stage, but he's open to attacks. Hit him enough and he, explodes. Ah! We start the next level.
Alley Cat Blues.
It's suddenly the middle of the day and we're on the streets. There's more foot ninjas to fight before we eventually have a boss fight with Metalhead. He's not too hard to fight. His attacks are easy enough to dodge, and he leaves himself open quite a bit. Hit him enough and he explodes too. Jeez!
Sewer Surface.
We jump down the sewers and now we're surfing. It's a bonus level, but it's also a regular level. Beat up as many bad guys as you can, including the chunky cheese pizza monsters from the cartoon. What a random creature to add in this game. After the bonus section of this level, we get to fight with the Rat King. He attacks from this vehicle, which I oddly remember having a toy of, and it shoots lasers, and Rat King will drop mines too. Stay in the upper side of the screen to dodge the mines, and carefully destroy the front of Rat King's machine, and then the rest of it. After enough hits, he's out of here! And that whole Rat King fight wasn't even in the arcade version. In the original, Shredder would just warp you out of time and you'd start doing the time travel levels from there. But because the Super Nintendo version added more content, we get a whole new level next. We enter the Technodrome in search of Shredder.
Technodrome. Let's kick shout.
This is pretty much like all the Technodrome levels we've seen before. At the end of the first section, we have a fight with both Razor and Toka at the same time. Razor slices while Toka uses ice breath. Razor is kind of easy pickings, so try to knock him out first, then it's just a simple fight with Toka. They turn back into animals, and we continue. There's an elevator section with lots of bad guys, then a boss fight with Shredder. This one's kind of fun too. Shredder is in the foreground, and he'll occasionally shoot at you and try to grab you with his claws. What do? Well, you throw his damn henchmen at him. Haha! Shredder jumps through the portal and sends us into a time warp. We're getting warped to the past, like way in the past.
Prehistoric Turtlesaurus.
So in the past we fight, well, Foot Clan ninjas. How uneventful. There's a few dinosaurs that go by, but nothing major. We do see the return of the Stone Warriors though. God, I hate these guys. At the end we have a boss fight with Slash. Really? No Triceratons? In the arcade version, it was actually some bad guy called Cement Man, but I think replacing him with Slash was a good call, even though Slash could possibly be the hardest boss in the game. You can only really hurt him by hitting him from behind or by hitting him in midair, otherwise he'll block and swipe at you. It's really easy to get your ass kicked here. I try to transition between the top and bottom of the screen and wait for him to get close enough to where I can just attack him. Sometimes it works, sometimes not, but once you beat him, we're warped to the year 1530,
Skull and Crossbones.
and we're on a pirate ship. There's nothing really noteworthy about this stage other than the fact that you have another boss fight where you get double teamed. You fight both Bebop and Rocksteady, and they're dressed for the occasion. I like this and I feel this is a nice addition to the port, since the arcade version had us just fighting Toka and Razor here instead. Anyway, Bebop and Rocksteady will sometimes fight you separately, and sometimes both at once. Focus on not getting hit, of course, and hit them when there's an opening. They might tangle up with each other, which leaves them both open for free shots. Each of them have their own health bar, but defeat one, and they both get defeated. Now we move on to the year 1885. Yeehaw!
Worry my shell at Wounded Knee.
We're on a moving train with more Foot Clan ninjas to fight off. Our boss here is my favorite bad guy, Leatherhead. He's pretty simple to beat. He moves up and down but is easy to hit. He'll run across the stage, so just follow him back and forth and keep beating his ass. Once he's defeated, he falls off the train and we continue warping through time. Now we're in the future of 2020?
Neon Knight Riders.
Wait, let me guess. So this was made in 1992, so they were probably thinking in the year 2020 it would be big lighted cities and hoverboards. Of course. So despite this looking like an F-Zero stage, this is another bonus-like level. So again, beat up as many enemies and get as many bonus tokens as you can to get more points at the end. Afterwards, we get a boss fight with Krang. Wait, why is he so small? We just saw how big he was before, where he swooped up the Statue of Liberty and was shooting at us from the construction zone. Whatever, let's destroy this Munchkin version. You can attack him straight on, but try to hit him from behind to avoid taking damage. Destroy him, and we're warped to the only time period that hasn't happened in real life yet, the year 2100.
Starbase, where no turtle has gone before.
You're on a starship fighting the same old bad guys you fought before. At the end, we get a final showdown with Krang. He teleports around on a spaceship, occasionally dropping robots. He'll also shoot a bubble beam at you. Freaking bubbles! The attack is pretty easy to avoid, and he's easy enough to hit. And after so many strikes, he explodes. Now let's get back to the present. 1992, and fight Shredder.
Technodrome, the final shell shock.
He transforms into Super Shredder, and he teleports all around the stage. He shoots ice crystals, a line of fire, and his infamous attack that turns you into a tiny little turtle. When he powers up his attack, he'll be surrounded by flames, Dragon Ball Z style, and you won't be able to hurt him. Wait until the flame goes out and then start attacking. He does this weird arm guard thing, but don't worry, you'll still be doing damage. Once he's out of HP, he's done for. He falls to his death. Or whatever. It doesn't matter, we beat the game. We then get a scene with Splinter telling us that we need to beat hard mode to be considered true ninjas. And that's Turtles in Time. And that felt kinda uneventful. I beat it on normal, and this was my ending. You know what? Let's do this. Let's beat this on hard mode. And I do it. I start going through the game again. It feels like there's a lot more enemies within the stages, but overall it doesn't feel too different. Until I get to the first boss fight with Shredder. The Foot Clan soldiers I have to throw at him are now the kind that block attacks, so they're much harder to get them in position to throw them. All the boss fights from here on out are a lot tougher too. Slash particularly is crazy hard to beat. Also, Super Shredder does the same techniques he did before, but somehow he's a lot more defensive. It's really tough, but we get through. We get the proper ending, where we see the Statue of Liberty being returned. Look at this cheesy smile. We see the turtles in the blimp, the credits, and we see all the cast and all their names and all that. We also get to see Splinter declaring that all the turtles are now true ninjas. And that's the end. So, Turtles in Time, how does this game still hold up? Well, it's really freaking fantastic. There's so much I love about this game that I'm not sure where to even start praising. When comparing this game to the last two, Turtles in Time has greatly improved the gameplay, which is amazing since Turtles in Time for the SNES came out only months after the Manhattan Project for the NES. I love how all the turtles feel so different from each other. It's not small differences either, it's major, and makes each turtle really feel their own. The mechanics are improved as well, adding new combo techniques, a dash attack, and even different jumping techniques. It's great! It makes the game feel fresh. The level designs work out very well here too. Each level is a little on the short side, but that keeps the action going. The game never drags on because you're constantly being pushed into different areas and facing different bosses. The hyper beats of the music never slow down either. The music, composed by Michiko Izumi, and also Kozo Nakamura, who's worked on all these early TMNT games, does fantastic work here as well. Again, the music and the action never slow down, and there's so much Ninja Turtle lore in this this game. From being able to pick different colors for your characters, and the fact that there's like 12 different classic turtle villains as bosses here, it's just fantastic. Oh, and of course the visuals are great too. The characters are well animated and very expressive. Everyone in this game just looks so good. With all of this said, I don't really have anything bad to say. I suppose the game itself is a little on the shorter side. It's easily the shortest of the Turtle games I reviewed so far, but the game is fun and it does have a decent challenge, so it does have you coming back for more. Turtles in Time for the SNES is worth checking out and playing if you have the chance. This is the best Turtles game I played since doing these series of TMNT reviews. It's just so goddamn fun. But these are just my opinions. What do you guys think? What do you think of Turtles in Time? So, we got one more game to review. We're going to be reviewing next time Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist. How does it compare with the rest? Well, we'll find out soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.